a veteran? Anybody know what a veteran is? What is it? Somebody who fought in a war, somebody who was in the military, okay? So they have come to be our special guests for our Veterans Day program this morning and kind of see what we've learned about Veterans Day, and then we want to give them some special stuff for Veterans Day so that they feel honored. Do you remember last week when we talked about honor in our Friday morning assembly? And the week before that we talked about it. So we're going to try and honor these people that have served our country, okay? We've got a lot of special things planned for this morning and some special guests, and I think you're going to really like it. I think it's pretty cool. We have a special visitor that's going to come and see us from really far away. So you have to be ready for that. And we have some songs that are going to be sung. So it's going to be really special, and we really appreciate you guys coming and being with us this morning. The first thing that we do every morning at school, Mr. Bratcher does the announcements, and then what do we do after the announcements? What do we do? We do the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you all think that we could do the Pledge of Allegiance and show all of our friends here today how we do that every morning? Yes. And then after we do the pledge, we're going to have our national anthem sung. Have y'all ever heard the national anthem? Yeah. Okay. Do you all know that that's a very special song? You have to be really quiet while somebody does that. So we're going to be really respectful, okay? So what I'm going to ask for you to do in just 1 second is we're going to stand up in just 1 second. We're going to say our pledge. And our friends from Owensboro High School have brought the flags, and they're going to bring them up here for us. And once they're up here, then we'll start say the pledge, okay? And then I have one of my friends, his name is Mr. David Rogers. He's going to come and sing the national anthem for us. So while we say the pledge, we're going to stand, and then you're going to stay standing while we sing the national anthem, okay? Got it? Okay, everybody can stand up. Quietly, please.
Colors, hold. Forward, colors. Left, pace. Carry, colors.
Right. Attention, salute, pledge.
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
right, pace. Forward, arms. Forward, march.
That was really special. And I think that's really special that all of our veterans got to see you guys, how you say the pledge every morning. Okay? What we're going to do now is Miss Goad has kind of a surprise for us. Miss Goad, you have 2 sons, right? Miss Goad has 2 sons, and both of them are veterans. One of them lives in England. How many of you know where England is? Pretty far away, right? The other one lives in another country called Bahrain. I don't even know where that is. But he has come all the way to New Parrish. It's really cool. It's called, we're gonna Skype him all the way from Bahrain, and we're gonna ask him some questions, and he's gonna tell you all something. But when we get him up here on the screen and you all can see him, I want you guys to say a really, really huge thank you to him, because he is in the military right now serving our country. And so we want to tell him thank you from Newton Parrish, and then Miss Goad is going to talk to him so that we can ask him some questions and learn some stuff about what he does, okay? So on the count of 3, I want you all to say a really big Newton Parrish thank you, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Tyler, it looks like you've got your family with you. Would you like to introduce them? Is he hearing me? Can you hear me? Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we heard you that time. And I said it looks like I said it looks like you've got your family with us. Could you
So thank you so very much for that big thank you. That was wonderful, and I'm really happy to see that you guys are learning all about Veterans Day and citizenship and all that stuff. That's a really important part of who we are as Americans.
Oh, I heard a dog too.
I've got everybody here, my whole family, my wife, my young daughter who's just turning 1 tomorrow, and our little dog Lucy is here.
Yes, and why are you home today?
What's that?
Why are you home today? Why aren't you at work?
Well, I've got the day off because it's Veterans Day.
Very good. The kids had some questions that they would like to have answered. We would like to know, can you tell us about Bahrain and how far away it is?
Of all the countries in the world, size-wise, Bahrain is one of the smallest. And it's no problem if you haven't heard of Bahrain, because most people haven't. But it's a really small country inside the Persian Gulf, just off the coast of Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is one of those countries that is really restrictive with what they allow their people to do. So Bahrain is less restrictive. So Saudi Arabia has come over here to vacation. So you can kind of say I live in a vacation plan, but it doesn't feel like that.
What's the weather like?
weather is always, always, always hot. It's winter, same as you, but the winter here, when it's really, really cold, it's 70 degrees. In the summer, it gets up to 120.
That's pretty hot. And why are you there in such a small country?
Bahrain is really one of the only countries that's really, really friendly with the United States and the Middle East. So the Bahraini king, they have a king here instead of a president. The Bahraini king allows us to station an entire fleet of Navy ships here. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm helping out with the ships and making sure that they're all safe and know what to do and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. How long are you going to be there?
Well, I've been here for a year already, and I'll be here for another year, so it'll be 2 years all told.
Do you ever miss being home?
I really, really miss being home. One of the things about living overseas is that it really, really teaches you about how good America is and what a wonderful place you all live in. You never really understand that until you travel outside the United States.
One of the children wanted to know if you've always been okay over there.
If we've always been okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we've always been okay. Sometimes there are some protests. Sometimes people don't like what the king is doing, so they'll do some things like burning car tires or something like that. But we're overall very, very safe. We know exactly when that stuff will happen, and we stay away from it. It's unfortunate that people are unhappy with their king, but people are always unhappy with their leadership. You can't please all the people all the time.
Have you ever been in a war?
Have I ever been where?
In a war.
Well, you can say I'm at war right now. I'm actually officially classified as being in a war zone. It's really weird that I'm able to have my family here because of that. But it's one of the it's the only place in the Middle East where I can take my family. But I'm officially in a war zone right now, even though I'm not shooting at anybody and nobody's shooting at me. The people that we're really afraid of here are the Iranians.
How close are you to Iran?
Iran is on the other side from us, and they are about, I don't know, about 500 miles. So maybe about the length of Indiana.
All right. And if somebody wanted to be in the Navy when they grew up, what would they have to do? You're hearing Lucy.
If you want to join the Navy, then you have to do one of two things. If you want to be an enlisted person, go down and talk to a recruiter who's at a mall or a strip mall or something like that. You can find them in the phone book or online. Or you can go to college and become an officer if you get a college degree. And that's what I did. I went to the U.S. Naval Academy, and when I graduated, I got a degree, and I also got a commission as an officer.
Have you enjoyed being in the Navy, Tyler?
Can you say again, please?
Have you enjoyed being in the Navy?
You know, I really have. It's been a wonderful way to be in service to my country, and it's been a great way to travel and see a whole bunch of stuff too. I've lived in Japan, and Germany, and Greece, and Bahrain, in addition to several United States.
And I would like to also have you acknowledge the fact that your wife is also married. The one you're married to is also a staff person's daughter here at Newton Parish. It's Mrs. Brooks's daughter, Kristen. So the two of you are together over there in Bahrain with Gracie, and we'd all like to say happy birthday to Gracie. We wish you could be home for Gracie's first birthday, but we know you're busy there. Thank you for your service, Tyler.
Thanks very much. It's been a great pleasure to talk to you guys.
Did you all think that was so neat? Yes. Let's go. How far did you say the plane ride was to get to? 25 hours if you were going to ride on a plane to get to where Tyler is. That's over a whole day you have to travel on an airplane just to get to where he lives. So that's really special that we got to see him and talk to him, and he's one of the veterans that's serving right now for our country in a place far, far away. I have a couple girls from Miss Ashley's class, and they have actually written letters to veterans, and they are going to come up and they're going to read them to us. Okay?
Hello, my name is Caitlin. Dear and Faye, thank you for everything you do. You never give up on us. You kept all of us safe. Thank you for everything. We are lucky to have you. Thank you for making the decision to go in the Air Force. You are special for keeping our country safe. One day when I grow up, I want to be a hero just like you. Love, Caitlin. Hi, my name is Emily. Dear veterans, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for giving us freedom. Thank you for not letting us down. You were good friends. You loved us so much. You risked your life to give us freedom. You're special to us. You fought for us. You have done so much for us. Love, Emily.
We also have some more students that have written some poems and some informational pieces that they're going to come and share with us. And we have two from Miss Brown's class that are going to read their poem also. These are some of the ways that the students have been learning about Veterans Day and want to show their appreciation for the veterans that have served. So these two girls are going to read the poem that Miss Brown's class wrote, and then we have some other students that have some personal pieces that they wrote.
Honoring our soldiers. Soldiers are people who show courage and are loyal to our country. Soldiers are worthy, gallant, heroic, devoted, and brave. Who feels helpful, pride, and hopeful. Needs love, support, and trust. Who fears war, attacks, and loneliness. Who loves their country, protecting and serving in the military. Who thinks freedom is worth it. Believes in our rights as Americans. A soldier is our hero. Thank you for serving our country. Hi, my name is Connor Howard. Veterans Day is to honor the men and women on 11/11. November 11th, Americans celebrate Veterans Day. For starters, Veterans was called Armistice Day. Allies truce with Germany in World War I on the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month in 1918. The first Armistice Day was celebrated in 1918. On every Veterans Day, 11 a.m., there is a color guard ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown at Arlington National Cemetery. In 1994, name changed to Veterans Day. 1968, Congress named Veterans Day in October on the fourth Monday in October. 1975, they moved it back to November 11th. Memorial Day is different than Veterans Day. Both honor men and women, but the difference is that Veterans Day honors all Americans veterans. Memorial Day honors dead veterans. There estimate 20 million veterans living. 60 million veterans served during war. 5.5 million during peacetime.
Hello, my name is Aiden Espinosa. Soldiers fight for their lives and for our country. Who feels strong and brave, who needs weapons and health, who fears that they might get hurt, who loves their family, who thinks they'll be alright, who believes in God and Jesus. A soldier is a hero. Thank you for serving our country.
My name is Malia Morgan. Soldiers fight for our country in the USA. Who feels brave and courageous, who needs our support, who fears nothing, who loves their family in the U.S., who thinks Americans the best country, who believes in our freedom. A soldier is a hero. Thank you for serving our country.
we have some students that are really proud of our veterans, and that's why they wrote these pieces so that we could share them with them today. We also have a speaker who's going to come and talk to you guys for just a few minutes. He is a veteran, and he's going to talk to you guys a little bit about why we celebrate Veterans Day. His name is Kenny Stone. He is from Henderson, Kentucky, and he graduated high school in 1974. It's a long time ago. Okay. He has been married to his wife for 36 years. He has 2 kids, and when he was a junior in high school, he enlisted in the Air Force. And after he graduated high school, he went into the Air Force and served active duty for 2 years, and then served in the National Air Guard for 4 years after that. His grandfather and his father were both veterans, and his son is a veteran from the Marines. So he is going to come and talk to you guys just a little bit about why we celebrate Veterans Day.
Thank you, Jill. I do want to say that I'm honored to be here with veterans, and you are correct. It was a very long time ago. I graduated high school 40 years ago. When I say that, I think I'm talking about my granddad, but that's actually me. I'm so old, and I graduated so long ago, my high school's not even there anymore. I went to Kansas City High School. It's gone. As one of the young men so eloquently said here, I was going to give you a little bit of a history lesson of Armistice Day, which it actually was originally what we now call Veterans Day was Armistice Day because of the Treaty of Versailles, 1918. But actually, fighting had ceased 7 months earlier than the signing of that treaty, and that was November the 11th. And it is in that time, the 11th hour of the 11th day, the 11th month, that we began to celebrate then Armistice Day. But it was done because of World War I, in which my grandfather served. William Franklin Pennington was an infantry soldier in the U.S. Army, serving in France, and he was part of that big deal back then. It was called the War to End All Wars, but it's kind of in the category as the head of the U.S. Patent Office, I think, said in 1930 that everything that can be invented has been invented. A statement that he probably wished he could take back. And so many other greater conflicts have taken place since World War I. And that's why it became Veterans Day. Because of war, because of conflicts in countries around the world that where people need to be defended, not only our own freedom, but the freedom of others. The United States has always been there to defend the rights and freedoms of other people, to liberate them, not to dominate them, but to set them free. And I think that's what makes the United States the greatest nation on earth, is that we want to share the freedom with other people that we ourselves have received. And we acknowledge in our original documents, the Declaration of Independence says that we have been endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it's through those freedoms that we have we want to share with everyone else. As Ms. Pendergrass said, I served in the U.S. Air Force. My grandfather was in the World War I, the Army. My dad was in the Army in the Korean War. And I joined in 1973, my junior year. That's right, she said, a long time ago. But the interesting thing about that was that the draft had just ceased. You may not know about the selective service, but that was actually begun in 1940 by President Roosevelt, then instituted in 1948 after World War II to make sure that there would, at least we would know how many young men could be able to serve in a conflict at any given time. And that continues to this day. I believe that even now, unless I'm mistaken, that at the age of 18, all U.S. males still register for selective service. Just something we do to make sure we know how many we have. I got to serve in the Air Force. I had one of the coolest jobs of all. I was an aircraft arresting barrier maintenance person. My whole time I served at one base, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, the largest runway in the world. That runway was 2.5 miles long. And I got to be standing on the side of the runway when C-5A Starlifters would land, these giant airplanes that could hold an entire army. They put tanks inside these airplanes and they would take them, places. And when they would land, there was such a crown in the middle of that runway. If you stood on one side of it, like standing on the side of the road, looking to the other side, you could not see a large dump truck on the other side of the runway because the runway had such a crown in the middle of it. And I always wondered why that was. I thought, well, maybe it's to let rainwater roll off of it or whatever. Until you see when those planes land and you realize how far down those wings come. I mean, they would have touched the ground. And my job was to make sure that if a plane landed but could not stop, we didn't want it to run off the end of the runway. And so they had those little pop-up things that looked like tennis nets that stretched all the way across that runway. And every 12 hours, a group of us would go out there and manually inspect those to make sure that in the wintertime they weren't stuck to the ground. We would call up to the tower, say tower battery maintenance, tell them which end of the runway we were on, and they would manually flip a switch and boom, that thing would pop up. And we just had to make sure it was always working. And the way we would stop an airplane if it landed, there were brakes underground, B-52 bomber brakes that were built into the ground on those cables that would stop those planes. Anyway, that's what I got to do. It was pretty cool. And then my son joined the Marine Corps, and he served in the Security Force Battalion. He got to guard nuclear weapons out of Seattle, Washington, and then one tour of Iraq. But now he is out. He's a dad. He's got 2 sons, and life is good. I just want to share with you some facts that I know about Veterans Day and that I know of veterans. And I want to thank all those who've served in every part of our history, whether it be in war or peacetime. And my heart goes out to all veterans. And I'm glad to see now that, unlike as some will remember, especially Vietnam era veterans, the people of our country were not quite as receptive to veterans in that day. But now that has changed, and I'm thankful for that. So to all veterans everywhere, I salute you and I thank you for your service. And to all of you who are here who one day may serve in the U.S. military, I want you to know that it's something you get to do with distinction and honor. It is a privilege to serve this country, because when you're a part of something like that, when you become a veteran at the moment you enlist, you have dedicated your life to something greater than yourself. You're a small part of something very big, but without even those smallest parts, it would never happen. So be thankful for the country in which we live, and thank those who defend the freedoms that God gave us so that we continue to be free, generation after generation. Thank you.
Okay. I know that we have some students here that have brought a veteran with them to school today. So if you are a student and you have a dad or a granddad or an uncle or mom or somebody that came with you today to the Veterans Day program, I want you to go and find them and bring them up here to the front. If you can do that. And then the rest of you, all of our veterans, if you want to follow them, come up here. We have a little something special that we want to give to you all. These are some of our veterans that came. These are our special guests here at school today. And this is why we have a Veterans Day program. We want to honor these guys that have served in our country. So I want you guys to give them a big round of applause. are a student and you brought somebody with you, I want you to introduce your veteran. Okay. So if you're standing with one, I want you to introduce your veteran to all of us so that we know who that is and who that special person is to you, okay? We're gonna start down here with Nathan. Nathan, who did you bring with you today? What's your name?
Carl Davis.
You served in the Army. Who did you bring with you?
My uncle. Chad.
In the Air Force. Who did you bring?
My granddad.
Your granddad. And what's your name?
Jim Stein.
And you served?
Navy.
The Navy. Who did you all bring?
My granddad and my dad.
What are your all's names?
Paul Walker.
Paul, and where did you serve?
Army, Vietnam.
In the Army,
Mel Ramsey, United States Marine Corps.
the Marines.
Mr. Jim.
You all know Mr. Jim, don't you? Yeah! Did you all know that he was a veteran?
This Jim, I was in Vietnam.
Okay.
My Papa Steve.
Where did you serve?
I served stateside from 68 to 72 in the United States Air Force in Air Training Command Electronics.
Who did you bring?
Papa Jordan.
Paul, and what's your name?
Marines.
And the Marines. Who did you bring with you?
My grandpa, Bill Burden.
U.S. Air Force.
Okay. Who did you bring with you? What's your name?
Sammy King.
Where did you serve?
United States Navy.
Okay, who did you all bring?
Mom.
Your uncle, and what's his name?
George.
Uncle George, where did you serve?
In the United States Army.
Army. Jacob, who did you bring?
My Paul and my grandfather.
And what's your name?
Yelp, Blinko.
Where'd you serve?
Blinko, retired Marine.
Marines. Who'd you bring?
My granddad,
Your granddad, what's his name?
Frankie Clark.
Where'd you serve?
Army.
In the Army. Good. Hey girls, who did you all bring?
My Papa Connor.
Your papa. And where did you serve?
Served in the United States Army Air Force, 1 year in the German occupation forces.
And what's your name?
Larry Davis, United States Army.
Army. Who'd you bring?
My dad,
Your dad. What's his name?
Brian.
Ryan. And where did you serve?
Marine Corps.
In the Marines. What's your name? Who did you bring?
I brought my granddad.
Your granddad.
Steve Spring.
Who'd you bring?
My mom.
Your mom. And where did she serve?
Well, she's
Oh, she's filling in for your grandpa. Where did you serve?
Air Force.
In the Air Force. Awesome. That's great. Wait, did I miss anybody? No? Okay, we have some leadership kids behind you all, and they are going to come and bring you guys just a little something to show our appreciation for what you guys have done for our country and how much we honor you all for what you've done for us. So they're going to be coming around and handing those out to you. Guys, we are so grateful to have people like this that have gone and served our country, sometimes in a war, sometimes not in a war, but they've always been there in case we needed them. They've always protected us, kept us safe. And do you remember what Miss Goldson said when he was on there? He said, "You don't realize how lucky we are to live in America until you've gone somewhere else." And that's kind of what he's learned. He's learned that because he lives in another place, he knows how lucky we are to live in a place like America where we have people like this that are going to protect us and give us our freedoms. So that is why we celebrate Veterans Day, and we honor all of you guys for what you've done for us and for your service to our country. So thank you all so much, and we appreciate it. And this is the end of our program. So if you guys want, on your way out, if you guys want to say thank you to the veterans that are up here on your way out, you can do that, okay? So the rest of the day, I want you guys to go out and remember what we talked about today. Remember how we've honored these people. And thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you guys.